Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for another Mystery Mystic reading. And we're continuing on with part 2, the Tarot and Oracle reading for the disappearance, cold case disappearance of April Lynne Snell out of Salisbury, Maryland. And she's been missing since October 1999. And this case was requested by T, and I want to thank T for submitting this recommendation. And check out part 1. It gives quite a bit of insight into the energy surrounding her disappearance. Of course, we're looking at a cold case. There's definitely foul play here from what I'm picking up on in the cards in part 1. Let's go to question number 1. Question number 1. Why is April missing? Daughter of Fire. Okay, Page of Wands. Is there foul play? I just want to do a little temperature check with the reading. Because of the Daughter of Foul Play, the Fool, or says yes, there's foul play. So this makes a lot of sense. This is like fiery energy, combustible personality, explosive at times, blows a gasket, kind of like it just pops off energy. And she was met with someone who felt like they had to do something about it. That's what I'm getting a sense of here with the Daughter of Fire. And that touches on part 1, like the motive behind that, like something like an argument that shot from 0 to 60 and someone feeling like they had to put her in her place. We asked the question, is foul play suspected? We have a strong yes with the Fool card. We also, the card that jumped with it was the Four of Swords. It can be, yes, there's foul play, and it put her to bed. It caused her to lay to rest with the Four of Swords and the Fool card. So I'm going to pull from my Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle just to see if there's any additional information. Alone. Targeting her, or she's alone. She's in some kind of remote area. They got her alone. It's premeditated. Dark energies. Oof. Okay. Okay. We'll stop there for now, because I feel like we really touched on the motive in part 1, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, as they say. But we have alone, like her alone, or she's alone, or she's in an area like that's kind of isolated, okay? So that could be, that goes with that wooded area card. It could also be like they waited till she got alone. Okay, so there's some level of premeditation here. It's not, yes, there was combustion in terms of like something kicking off, like an argument or like a conflict that was like, I don't know, it ignited something quick. But it wasn't like that happened right away. It was like there was always like these mouthing offs. And so someone was like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. And you alone. And there's 2 people here in this misadventure card. There's one who is alive and seeing the other person fall. Could be someone, we could even say cat. Seeing this happen or knowing this happened. We have dark energies. This is to motive. Somebody wished bad on her. They wanted to make her, they wanted to, I don't want to say humiliate her, but to minimize her. And this person that did this has no, how do you say, humanity. Like they're completely dark on the inside. Maybe even come from someone or been around someone who even participates in some sort of dark energetic workings, but just themselves wishing bad on someone. Yeah. There's a money element, but I think that's just a backdrop for her and this person that's known to her that caused her demise. Allegedly. All right, let's move on to question number 2. So now we have question number 2, and that's clues on who or what is responsible for her disappearance. We have 6 of Cups. This is a friendly connection, someone she has a history with. There's multiple people in this particular 6 of Cups, 6 of Water. There was once upon a time a happy time. We talked about that in part 1, but then something triggered when, something shifted, something changed with the person who caused her disappearance. But at one point, this is someone that she has a history with, that they have memories, shared memories together. So this is not a stranger, right? This is not a stranger to her. She could have even had, it could be a friendship, or it could be something. Hold on. One moment. Card, please. I just had a little spill of water, so I had to deal with that. What are some clues on who or what is responsible? Dead face, gray eyes, unhealthy, someone who's into glasses. Okay. I'll show you all the cards in a moment. Family or past connection. Okay. We'll see if there's anything else. Male or female. Male and or female. I feel like there is multiple people in the know, and there's a female that knows. You know, we're going to look at Kat's situation in a moment, you know, so check that out. The video is timestamped by question, but I sense like this confirms family or past connection. This affirms what I have been picking up on. And this card came up, Libra. Now it could be a Libra, one or more people in the know. It says September 23rd to October 22nd. That is that time period, that window from when she disappeared to when Kat also disappeared and then was ultimately found on a rural road, tossed on the side of a rural road, right? So that was, so they found her, I think it was October 22nd. So there's this tight window of time. And so Spirit is wanting to point our direction to someone that they knew, they have a history with, they have shared memories with. It's a family or past connection. And yes, there's some connection between the two, between April, her disappearance, and Kat's death. Someone with a thin face, the main perp, or someone aiding and abetting, accessory after the fact. gray eyes, someone who has the striking color of eyes or something about the person's eyes. She almost looks dead in the eyes, right? Something about the eyes. Sometimes the card is just more about, look at the person's eyes. Unhealthy, so either the main perp was an unhealthy or is an unhealthy person, or they just was generally unhealthy, something health issues, and glasses. This person either had to wear glasses, needed to wear glasses, but didn't wear glasses, love wearing sunglasses. You would always see this person with their shades on, even in a building, you know, like inside, they got their shades on, or this person like has a huge collection of glasses, sunglasses as well, you know, glasses. And again, I am picking up on, there's a main perp, this tall person here, and then there's just kind of other people who were around or know information, really could corroborate this main perp's involvement. The main perp, there's something unhealthy about this person. They were a family or past connection to April. Something of significance happened during, perhaps it could have been the midsummer leading up to her disappearance, leading up to April's disappearance. Something like only close relatives or friends would know about some kind of occurrence with this person, this main perp. And they'd be like, aha, it's you. It's you. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So now we are at question number 3. Number 3, clues on where April was taken or located. Taken or located. Ooh. 10 of fire. 10 of wands, it looks like. It says oppression. Kind of hemmed up. We saw that in part 1 with the concealed, hidden, and underground tunnel card. Okay, I keep getting a sense like a large regional park is either nearby, or she's like it's in a, like she's in a wooded area, bound, you know, like confined. And it could also be like an animal park that might be even near, or in this near regional area, regional park or something, like an animal preserve or something. I don't know. But the reason why I feel like strongly about a park, and not just any park, but it's one of those parks that maybe people go and they boat and they fish and they spend all day there. There is places for kids to play, but it's got basketball courts, it's got walking trails. It's that kind of park, and it might even have some section of where you could camp. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Government or military. I don't know if there's kind of government or military base nearby, or if this is indicating some affiliation. I don't know. I got chapel. Could be another landmark that's near in close proximity. It's some sort of little chapel or church. But I feel like she is somewhere tucked in some kind of near wooded area that's close to or near a regionalized bigger park, state park, right? Regional or state park. And maybe it's even got like some kind of name, like with Fort something, or like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of all the different ways that government or military could come up. It could also be some kind of governmental or military outpost or building that's near. More landmarks. Okay, thank you, Spirit. All right, question number 4. Did April's disappearance have anything to do with Kat's murder? And we'll look at, so how we have Queen of Pentacles. We have King of Swords. I would say yes. Yes, it did How so? It's a man, a male figure, trying to pull rank. I don't even know how else to say it. You know, I know we are in a patriarchal society, many of us. So sometimes it feels like that manly energy of like, I'm gonna, you're under my rule. And yes, this is a yes card. The Queen of Pentacles was the first card that jumped. It is an affirmative card that, yeah, there was something. And it's also interesting. Queen of Pentacles, Pentacle. In part 1, there was the coin card in the opening oracle reading, the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket oracle reading. And that card told me that there's some kind of cahoots or money or some kind of, I kept wanting to call it a criminal enterprise network or something like that. So to answer the question, yes. And King of Swords came out with it. So Cat, what happened to Cat is related to, is related to April and vice versa. We have witness. Look at that. Look at Spirit. Okay. Abducted or kidnapped. This came up in part 1 in the opening oracle reading, but a different deck. Same keywords, but different deck. Right? Witness. One of the ladies was a witness to what happened to the other. Okay? Now, I can't make sense of this one. I saw it when it came out and I said, we're going to go with it. Motive, jealousy. There's something about jealousy that can be combustible, that kind of lights a fire over something. Or maybe there was a competition that April was aware of and kind of would poke fun at it. Perhaps something like that. And that could make the situation combustible. Maybe there was something someone was jealous of, money or relationship, something or person, who knows what other people have, or talking about what other people have, or making fun of what one person doesn't have versus the other. But I get a strong sense, and I picked it up in part 1, that the ladies had witnessed some things that happened to one another in the time leading up to the disappearance, and then Cat's body being discovered. All right, let's move on to the next question. The motive in Cat's murder. Daughter of water. We got the daughter of fire over here for April, which is interesting because Page of Wands, or Page of Fire, is a springtime card for me. It's like April-ish for me. That's so telling. And then we have Daughter of Water. Some kind of emotional something or another going on with this person who took her life. I'm assuming it's, was it Broderick? It's a little different, but they're both daughters. So it's both pages in the tarot. And in this case, they changed the name to daughters. So it's like this energy of someone older, someone who tries to keep them in their place. This person, I don't know if Broderick at one time had a relationship with Cat. He's the main perp, and I believe he was convicted. There's not much information out there, but I believe he was, allegedly, but signs point to yes. And they had some sort of connection here. I'm going to pull from this deck, since we know her life was taken. What was the motive? It's a little different than April's. Combustible. I suppose there could be also some kind of flirtation. I don't know. That was happening, causing jealousy. Yeah. I don't know if it's telling me anything. All right, so it's not giving me motive. We'll pull from my secrets revealed. Motive. I mean, I think we got, look, affair. This is feeling more emotional, this situation, like a relationship gone awry, or I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same type of energy. We have mask. Her cause of death, from what I could tell, was like blunt force trauma, and that she was beat all over, like from head to toe, is what I saw in the newspaper article for her case. I really couldn't find much on April's at all. And it was thanks to T that she pointed me in the direction of the articles, because it's really challenging to find them. But yeah, because this is a cold case, right? 1999. This is interesting. I'm just going to say, leave it at that, because we're not really doing this reading about Cat. Although Cat's situation is connected to people or a person involved in April's disappearance, it's definitely something different going on here. We have in the future, the perp may admit guilt, and maybe, you know, under a lot of pressure, he confessed. I don't know. Broderick. I don't know the details of what happened and how he ended up in prison after what happened to her. But then we have here, this crime may be solved by DNA testing or other scientific methods. So there was probably some evidence that tied him to her. They also have a past relationship of some sort. Maybe he, I don't know, literally a mask, someone wearing a mask, someone masking who they really are, a masquerade, trying to hide something here. And take a closer look at one of the suspects. Okay, so that card came up in part 1. And I shuffled this deck really good between readings, because I like to do that just to make sure that I get fresh cards. But it came up in April's opening oracle reading part 1. So it's almost like a nod to, yeah, there was something else going on, a slightly different. Cat was some sort of witness to April, you know, what happened to her, why. We even have here with that abducted or kidnapped card over here. But what happened to her is something different. By the same people, though. Might even be the same number of people. It's a group of people at various levels and ways at which they kept it a secret and helped. Take a closer look at one of the suspects. Question number 6. Did Broderick have anything to do with, or acknowledgement, or be in the know about what happened to April? We have the Page of Wands from this deck, which is a strong yes card. Okay. It goes with, it's like almost like talking to question number 1. Question number 1 was, why is April missing? Is there foul play? If so, what's the motive? We got Page of Fire or Page of Wands over here, but it's called something different in that tarot deck, right over here. Then over here in question number 6, we now have Page of Wands, the traditional card, the traditional tarot card, saying, yeah, Broderick knows, and he definitely has some involvement, if not total involvement, with this guy holding this stick, okay, weapon. Allegedly, because I'm still trying to find records. I wish I had access to like court records. Maybe I could find it, like transcripts or something from his trial. Okay, hold on. I somehow scrolled. Let's move on. I added a question. I had to add a question. Aside from Broderick, is there anyone else involved or in the know about what happened? Yes. We have 8 of Wands. Yes. Movement, speed. Someone knowing about movement. Her going from place to place. We saw that with the Crow card in part 1. Temperance is yes. Yeah. Having someone, yeah. There's another key person that's also, aside from Broderick, that knows, that's maybe in charge or knows something alive, I'm getting a sense of with this card, as well as the Eight of Wands. But yeah, these are two yes cards to the question of, is there someone else that knows a lot more, who actually could be even convicted of having a hand in helping and covering up what happened to April? Yes and yes. Yes and yes. Put those there over the other. Okay. Right. So we talked a little bit about this in part 1, about what evidence could really crack the case. And I kept feeling like law enforcement has to go over some of the evidence of like people's alibis, and then the supports for those alibis, and looking at statements and re-interviewing people and interrogating main suspects again. So statements being critical. But to question number 7, I want to ask specifically that, like, what evidence could crack the case and lead to answers? Look, something hidden, the High Priestess. Wow. Wow, look, she's got tarot cards. This is a different kind of deck. New Era elements, tarot. So, something secret, not known to the public, perhaps. As of yet, maybe law enforcement, it may even be secret to them. Some kind of information with the Two of Air, equilibrium, or Two of Swords. I'm going to pull from this deck and then get ready to take a picture. Look, timeline. That's what I was talking about. I was just talking about this. This is my 180 card deck. So for it to have the timeline card fly out, when that's what I was saying, that's the key evidence. That is the key evidence. There's something about it that could link other people. Someone still holds guilt. They may see the kids in the neighborhood, her kids who are grown now. They have pangs of regret and remorse, and really could actually benefit law enforcement to try to breathe new life into it and get it back into front of the media, have a cold case detective come out and try to, get people, going again and saying we have key evidence, we're going over again, and getting things going. Look, we have DNA evidence. I guess DNA was around back then. Yeah. So something else. There's something else, some piece of evidence. Not all was cleaned up, as we saw in part 1, the cleanup card, right? Not all. Not all. And then that leads me to, will we ever get answers? Okay. Next question, will we ever get more answers? Or will, at least, how about this? Will law enforcement take another look at it? A serious look at it. We have Four of Cups, which is a maybe card. Will we ever get answers? It's really sad because they're just kind of like with the arms crossed. It's like an energy of apathy. Yeah, look, the key word there says apathy. You probably can't see it. Oh, let me grab it. And what card is this? Eventually messages will come or something of value, but I caution us to say, okay, yeah, we're going to get justice, because it's going to take law enforcement getting serious about wanting to crack the case. I do see that's, there's a potential for them to actually solve it with the Page of Cups, to actually solve it. But the card that came out that gives me pause is the Four of Cups. They got to overcome their apathy and their bias that we saw in part 1 in order to move this case forward or breathe new life into it, as we see with the Page of Cups. And so some cases I'm able to pick up, yes, we are going to see a path to justice, or it may look like this, it may look like that. We literally have to start over, is what this card is telling me. So we would have to revisit revisit April's case again at some point in the future to see where law enforcement is at, because right now their little arms are crossed. The card is on the floor, and I don't want to have another spill. I'm soaking my feet. They hurt. They are sore today. TMI, I know, but I don't want to bend over and spill more water from my foot-soaked tub. Anywho, all that to say, the Four of Cups tells me we need to shake it up. And hopefully this summer, some kind of life can be breathed into it. So that way maybe during this coming autumn, there could be a proper update, on this year, on the anniversary of her, her being reported missing, we have a task force that's taking on the charge and breathing new life, Page of Cups, into this investigation and getting people who hold regret or remorse to come forward and share what they know. Look at that timeline. You have to pour all over the records again, because a lot of stuff like CCTV footage is gone. You may have made copies, hopefully, I don't know. But you're going to have to really look at timelines of key people around Broderick or around April in their little tight inner circle, friend circle group, network group, criminal enterprise allegedly group. There's a key little group. Some overlaps, some gaps, some question marks that could lead to more pressure, and someone feeling the pressure because they're regretful and remorseful. All right. There you have it, friends. That is the Tarot and Oracle reading for April Snell's disappearance. And I thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you pick up on when you see these cards. I'm going to clean these up over here and grab the one that fell on the floor. And yeah, I might even have to move some of them out just to make it more cleaner. So when I look at the picture in the future and we do another reading in the future, then I have these cards to look at, right? But if you feel called to pull cards yourself because you're a reader or you're an intuitive and you don't use cards, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Please share your insights. I may not can give you a big analysis back. Sometimes I can if I have time, but I definitely look at them, okay? I definitely love to see that exchange of information, because that's what it takes sometimes to breathe life into these old cold cases. And her kids deserve answers. Her family, her friends, the community deserves answers. Her mom, right? Like, this has gone on long enough. No more apathy, law enforcement. No more sitting just like, oh, that's it. Broderick went down, possibly a connection. There possibly is more. No, everybody who is, has some information needs to come on forward and cough it up. All right, let me get off my soapbox. Do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to me, you all. Take very good care of yourselves. Much love. Bye for now.